Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Siddhaswarupaya, Radha Krishna Prestaya. Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Dayana, Krsna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Dayana, Krsna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Dayana, Krsna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Dayana. Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Dayana, Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Dayana, Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Dayana. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Mohana. 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 Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. 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 Bhagwan Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasari Gaurabhakta Vrinda. Bhagwan Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasari Gaurabhakta Vrinda. Gopala Govinda Rama, Krsna Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, 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 Krishna, Madana Mohana, Krishna, Gopala Govinda Rama, Krishna, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Krishna, Madana Mohana, Krishna, Gopala Govinda Rama,
Guranga.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Guranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Guranga.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Oh Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Guranga.
oh Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Hari oh Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Guranga.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Guranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Guranga.
Jaya Jaya Shila Prabhupada.
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Shila
Hari
Prabhupada.
oh Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda,
Hari Krishna,
Paramahamsa.
Hari Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda,
Hari Krishna,
Paramahamsa.
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa, Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa.
Haribol Namaste. Good morning, everyone. So let's continue our study program. So I'd like to reiterate something that, to be clear with what we're doing, it is a process that, to be very direct, is about how to do the will of God, how to relate to God, how to have a relationship with the Supreme Person. So, how can we do that? So, in this age of Kali Yuga, age of quarrel and confusion, He gives us this process that is descending, our Gurudev, coming in the line of saintly person, the holy names. The holy names of the Supreme Person helps one to draw the mind away from matter. So it means you don't need to really try to be purified by your own power or try to struggle how to get out of this mess. But rather, if we have this faith and we follow the process, the scientific process, we can realize. Realize means you can really understand and realize it in actuality, Because this process is an experience that one will do and carry on, and he experience a certain result. So the main problem we face here when Arjuna asked Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita is a song of God. It's the will of the Supreme Person relating to us, telling us what He wants, how we can be directed, how can we take this path wherein we can be in harmony with His will. The teachings of Christianity by Lord Jesus Christ, the will of Allah, and the goal of all spiritual religious process to do what is in harmony with the will of God. So why is that? Because we are eternally the loving child, eternally connected with the Supreme Person. But in our situation now, we are in this material world, we are in a different environment. So we have discussed previously that there's two energies, life and matter. So you, the person, me, I am this body. This body is made out of matter. That's we have been on and on. We've been discussing. Why is it that is very important to be able to realize our true eternal identity? Because from that point, we can distinguish, we can see and weigh where and how we can be focused and directed upon that world of life. What is that world of life? It's a world of a relationship with God, the supreme person, the cause of all causes, the supreme friend who has inconceivable potencies. So what's the problem that separated us from God? The teachings of Jesus Christ, Christianity, and all scriptures do the will of God. So you ask this question in ourselves, upon ourselves, whose will am I doing? So in scriptures, Lord Krsna, all the devotees, saintly person, spiritual masters, who are all transcendental, residents of the transcendental world. Their will, their heart, their whole being is connected in parallel, in harmony with the desire and the will of the Supreme Person. And the effect of that is that they're able to experience transcendental happiness because they're connected with the will of God. Because God is self-sufficient, He has inconceivable potencies, and that is His natural, eternal position as a Supreme Person. So when we forget our true identity, it's about our will, my will. But now, it is centered upon what I want. It's what I want. That's the problem we have here. It's all what we want. But the problem is we're not the supreme controller. We're not self-sufficient. That's why we're always experiencing this anticipation. You know what's anticipation? When the mind tells you something, because the mind that you are now covered with, because you have this body, the mind, all the desires, the database, all the desires are there, the experience that you have experienced through your senses, through your identification with the body. So the pleasure you experience is always there, and when you're unhappy, when you want to be fulfilled, and if you're not realized, you're not understanding your true transcendental nature, your essence, then you're identifying, it means you're identifying with the body. So automatically, the desires, the sensual enjoyment, the flickering, there's an enjoyment there, but temporary and flickering. And the soul, you, the person, experience that through the senses. But because it's temporary, it's a different energy from you, you'll never be fulfilled. That's why you're always, all of us are always in anticipation. You know what's anticipation? We're worried we cannot get what we want. The mind tells us, get this, you know. For example, let's put it, I give an analogy, you know. A young boy sees a young girl. He wants to relate to that person. So he's always worried, anticipating, will she accept me? You know? And the goal is to have a relationship with her, or to be his girlfriend, to be his wife, you know? And you're always worried. At that simple analogy, how can I have her, in short? How can I win her heart? So it's always anticipation. And the businessman also is always anticipating, thinking how to make money. So he tries to brainstorm. You know what's brainstorm? Try to see it, they call it looking at a big picture. You know? And it's about marketing. What will we market? Will the people be induced to accept what we're offering? So they shell out money so we can earn. Di ba? That's why they use advertising and everything that they put in front of you, in front of your senses, and you're looking at it. But they're also worried. What if they don't take it, you know? if the competition is better, and cheaper. They're always competing. Always in anticipation, in anxiety. And when they have it, they have to maintain it. Just like if you have someone, like the young man, she's a young girl, and he marries her, so he goes on trying to maintain now a household life, trying to maintain it. And always trying to protect. Then that lady leaves him, or she dies, leaves a body, or goes with someone. Then the person now is anxious. He's crying now. What we have discussed yesterday, crying times, The heart, the love that you have focused upon that person, upon that direction. You're now, when that person leaves or be separated from you, you have an empty heart. Your heart is sad. You, the person, you're lonely because your shelter and happiness is upon that form, upon that person. And that person is not self-sufficient. That's the main thing I want to discuss. So, the problem we face is we try to play surrogate God. We try to portray we're self-sufficient. That's why we're always anxious. And the factor, the catalyst that we should understand that drives us in that direction is situated in the mind. And you are not the mind. And the reason we are focused upon this world, because we have been covered. Our meditation now is connected with this covering. I'm this body. I'm the senses. I follow the mind, because the mind promised something in all those desires that you will be happy, that you will be secured. So very simple. So now there is a process that we have been given. The process is the purificatory process to draw the mind away from matter. That is the meditation we do every day here. Because from that point, we can now direct the mind for what is beneficial to us spiritually. That will give us security. That will give us a basis and a foundation wherein we are sheltered, no doubt, because we understand our true transcendental nature. And we know that everything that is here will be taken away from us. So where will we put our investment? Where we will put our time? That the answer to that question will be what will determine your success. And it will be upon you how you understand, how you have matured spiritually, how you have understood your true transcendental nature. That you are a different energy from matter, and your position is that you're eternally the loving servant of God, and your activity should be, because the spirit soul is always active. What activities will we do? Will it be an activity that is transcendental to this world? So we are given a process, the mantra meditation. So the mantra meditation we do, it means the Supreme Person's desire and will be done if we just follow the process He's giving us. Because He will be the one to protect us, to give fulfillment to us. Because He's self-sufficient. He's God. That's the definition of God. But there's another definition. Because God is unlimited. So the glories of God, we cannot, because we are limited, the only way we can discuss it in a minute, a very limited situation, based upon what we have seen and understood from the lives of the instructing spiritual master, the Son of God, Jesus, or our spiritual master, and the Parampara. But the glory of God, it's not just about His power, about saving us. The glory of God is connecting us with what we're longing for. What are we all longing for? It is a satisfaction, a fulfillment of one's life, one's heart. And that is achieved when we follow the path that God Himself wants us to follow. How is that? Jesus Christ is telling us, love the Father with thy whole heart, thy whole mind, thy whole being. Why is that? Di ba? And how can we do it? So Lord Krsna tells us, just surrender unto me and I'll protect you. To those who are constantly devoted unto me, I give them the understanding by which they can come to me. So it's all about affection. It's all about one's heart sheltered upon that sweetness of taking shelter of the self-sufficient person who can fulfill what we're longing for. It's a spiritual process, an activity of the person, you. So you can check now what separates you from there. So it's all connected with the mind. And the mind is a different energy, subtle, but still matter. And what's in the mind? You can watch it, just like watching TV. You have watch, okay, you have this laptop. You can watch YouTube, FB, everything that's there, all that advertisement that's being bombarded upon your senses. And it's being done in different ways. Visual and words discussing or trying to give you the idea of what you can have, what you can taste, what you can eat, what you can feel. And it's done by manipulation of words and meaning of words in presenting it. But there's another presentation also that you can see with your eyes. So who is watching? You, the person. So now you ask this question. You are eternal and all of these are temporary. Where will I put my marbles? Diba? My point is, but you may not understand where I put my marbles. Where will you put your time and energy? This body that you have, which is very limited, and not only that, the time factor that you're in this body to be able to comprehend and understand. If you follow this process, Krishna will give you intelligence. Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita, because Bhagavad Gita is the word of God, it's the will of God. He tells us, from me comes remembrance and forgetfulness. So if we devote our time upon doing the will of God, we will be always given remembrance and forgetfulness. But if we decide to follow what is we are not, that's false ego, then we forget. Because we are not self-sufficient. We are all not all knowledgeable. And not only that, we're very limited. And we are in a world, in this world, there are energies here, there are laws here. And the three modes of material nature, our conditioning. What is the conditioning of the three modes of material nature? Goodness, passion, and ignorance is centered around an experience of what we have been conditioned. We want peacefulness. But that peacefulness we experience is shattered because this is a world of duality. You're happy now, after a while, you'll be sad. It's daytime, this afternoon, nighttime, in the evening. You have a certain amount of money, next time you don't have money. It's all dualities. So the person you think you're free. They sing, born free. Nobody's free here. Di ba? I did it my way. Di ba? That's the song you see. I go nuts hearing that every day, I did it my way. That's not true. There are forces there. The three modes of material nature. That's why, what attracts you? For example, a male. You're in a male body. Your mind is thinking, I am male. Your attraction, because arrangement by Mother Nature, that man and woman marries, get together, and have contact to have babies. Progeny. That's the arrangement of Lord Brahma, the Creator. He doesn't need to put up factories like, Mitsubishi or Suzuki factory or, refrigerator factories and people are working there. No. By His mystic power, He arranged it. And the three modes of material nature, you get attracted. But now it's really perverted, You're in a body of a woman, you think, I'm strong, I'm a man. You're mine, So you're not the mind, you're not the desire. So all the problems we face here is centered around our conditioning. And the conditioning is there in the mind. And now we have this body. How can we get out? That's why it's always described to all of you that we are in this ocean, drowning, helpless. But the false ego will tell, no, I did it my way. You know? And you sing, you know, to reach the unreachable sky. I go nuts there, you know, to do the impossible. Yeah, it's really impossible because your spirit, soul, life, a different energy. It's not possible to be really fulfilled in the material dimension. Flickering enjoyment. For example, sexual enjoyment. Yeah? They put so much effort, you know, so much effort for that orgasm. But it's just, but to do that, they have to hype themselves. And what is that all about? It is when a person is empty inside and is angry, and that anger is released through the genitals. If your focus is based upon trying to find happiness and matter. But if you understand the truth, marriage life and having children can be spiritual and transcendental. You can raise children, you know, to help them to know about the Supreme Person. But you must live the life also. One time I was sitting down speaking, Srila Prabhupada is speaking, you know, about, there's this person, my friend, you know, this person, he's my friend. And he has a son, you know, because he left the body already. And he said to our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, I want my son to become a devotee. And Srila Prabhupada told him, you must first become a devotee to teach your son, you know. It's not that you want him to be saved, to become a devotee, to be protected, and you're not really understanding and not in that situation. So it must be you first. So back to the point I like to discuss about the mind. How the mind is so powerful. Material energy, although matter, engulfs us. Lately, you have heard about rage, you know. A policeman shoots, you know, just there in front, this girl, you know, he comes out, the story goes like this, because all you know all about it. He's just merrymaking and these other neighbors, you know, playing with this bazooka, boom, boom. And it annoys him, no, while he's singing, you know, while he's singing the song, I Did It My Way, you know. It's dancing there, you know. So he went out and then he had a quarrel with somebody. And the person, you know, who you? Telling me what to do. Yeah? So, who are you also? Then, diba? Rage. Why? So Lord Krishna, in the discussion in Bhagavad Gita, he's guiding us. Because Arjuna, being a disciple, a student, put himself in a position and said, please teach me. So spiritual life is about a choice you can make. To hear about the truth, and then when you come to the point of understanding what you cannot reach by your own power, but rather can be descending because we are relating to a person. To a person. Just like this guy. He wants to do his own will. The other person also, she wants also to do her own will, you know. And they had a fight. Then, diba? It's a mess out here. That's why we're drowning, we're blind. But how can we get out? We're so empty-hearted in the desert and we're trying to find water in the desert. That is our situation. So the problem we face here is always anticipation. Anticipation that if we cannot get it, we're always afraid, worried. That's why most openly people have heart attack or high blood pressure. That in this case, this policeman, high blood, So I'll tell you this story to connect with what I'm trying to tell you. About when Lord Krishna, when Arjuna asked Lord Krishna, what is it that impels a man to do something he doesn't want to do? And Lord Krishna tells him, it is only last Arjuna, born out of wrath, anger. And it brings a person to a situation that is beyond control and not beneficial to him. And what is it all about? It is about lust, unlimited craving, now directed upon this matter, this world, this body. You want happiness, it's like you're so thirsty, you're walking in the desert, you cannot find water. And when you try to, in a mirage, you think, this will give me happiness. Have you seen most here in Bukidnon, because sometimes it's summertime, while you're sitting in the bus, you can see as if in front of you there's a river because of the effect of this mirage. In the desert, when you're thirsty, it's also like that. You're unconscious already, but still trying to look for water, and you think it's water, and you dive, it's sun. Because the heat drives you nuts and crazy. You lose your intelligence. So the point here is to have this intelligence. So instead of singing every time, every year, last year, I did it my way. What we should do, let God do it according to His way. And it's a relationship, we should be in harmony, because He's self-sufficient, He's in control, He has inconceivable powers, He's unlimited, and we are not. And we are here trying to play Lord, Paul's ego. So this is not being taught in the university. It's not being taught by all those individuals who are blind, who are in the desert drowning, but they think they're intelligent, because their intelligence has been snatched. So how to be intelligent? Because we think we're intelligent. Actually, we're all fools. We're all idiots. Moron, not seeing, So I'll tell you this story. One time I was reading this magazine, It is about a certain area. There's this person selling honey. He's walking and he shouts, honey, honey, honey! Or in Kibawe, dugos, dugos. That's what you see, my friend who comes here. But while he's passing by in this community, the honey drip, it's fall. Some of it falls to the ground, and the cat sees it. The cat runs, and the cat begins to taste that honey while he's walking, and the dog now comes, seeing the cat, because, dogs and cat, they don't go together, yeah. So that the dog, he's territorial, and the cat is also in a way territorial. When you have a house, the cat is only interested in the house. He's not interested in the one who's owning the house. He's just there, like all the cats here, They don't care. But the dogs, they're territorial, they pass by, piss on the wall. This is my area. So when the cat tried to come near the honey and taste it, the dog runs after it. But someone is there also, seeing the dog. And he beats the dog. When he beats the dog has an owner, Why are you beating my dog? He kicks the child, And the child goes home, this guy bullied me. And the father goes there, The father goes there, why did you do that to my child? Immediately they have a fight. And this guy was unable to defeat the guy. He runs now, goes to, like, for example, it's Fiesta. Fiesta, all the clans are there, Tabang! So he goes there. This guy, he's bloodied, He goes, he beat me, And everybody gets their bolo, Where is he? Enraged, they go there. And the guy also runs and goes to, there's another also, there's what they call this here? Reunion. He goes there. These people are gonna kill me, Who? And everybody there, trying to cut the pig and everything with all their bolos. Where? And then they see this group of people, another clan, in the community coming with all the bolos. get a bolos, and they clash together. Boom, 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 boom. In anger. Yeah. And there's a war already. And the government has to come to stop it. But it started when this person is carrying honey for sale, and it drifted down, and the cat, ate it. The dog runs after the cat, and the guy who owns a dog goes there and see, and the person who kicked the dog, and it's a mess out there already. In the afternoon, the one who's selling the honey passed by to another community. And then when he came back, he's wondering, oh, so many dead people. Well, how's this? Why did it happen? But if you look closely, it's just because of that honey that fell down on the ground. Why is that? Yeah? So Arjuna asked Lord Krishna, what forces a man? So through sense perception, you the person, through your senses, you see. You begin to contemplate. Yeah, begin to contemplate. And then you act upon it. And if the case is you want something to fulfill your heart's need, you the person, when you try to go for it, you're not able to experience real happiness. You get frustrated. And when you get frustrated, you're angry. And when you're angry, you lose your intelligence. So it means, how can we control anger? A certain activity leads to a certain consciousness. So if we follow this purificatory process, coming down, God Himself, the holy names, wanted us to be in harmony with His heart, with His love, and we apply it because He's the supreme purifier. When we sing His glories, we become purified. When we come in contact with Him through His holy names, through the guidance of someone who loves Him, we now become connected. Our heart can be directed upon doing the will of God. Our life, that is spiritual life. Then we can understand, I'm just temporary in this world. I don't belong here. I'm a fish out of water. I should go back to the water. For so long, what we're doing is what my Siksha Guru is always giving an analogy. He tells us, you're just taking care of the cage, but not taking care of the bird. You don't give food to the bird. That's why a person is always, he's dying. We're in this world trying to look for something that will be the foundation of our success. What is progress? And we always sing, I did it my way. To do the impossible. To reach the impossible. Yes, you can never reach the impossible if in your search for happiness, you don't know who you are. So that's the first. If you know who you are, then you can see. Now, either you are less intelligent or you use your intelligence. So the reason a person who's intelligent listens from authorities, listen to their teaching. So he does not or she does not have to undergo an experience that is really frustrating, miserable. Yeah? For example, we are always, you must, by your association, you must be very careful. You go with thieves, you go with thieves or who are always trying to steal something, a group, they call them a gang of thieves, your association. Then, if they get caught, they are put in jail. Yeah? So you're with them. So you also get caught and you're sentenced to stay for example, with all the crimes they're doing, because the policemen and everything, all the crimes in the community, they're the ones who did that. So the crime is solved. So what is that about? Rape, murder, and everything. So they sentence you with all those crimes. A shotgun, crime. Stealing, raping, plundering, fraud, and everything. So to put statistics wherein the community is safe because all the criminals are caught. We, the criminals, for example, you follow this group. So you're put in jail for 10 years, okay, 20 years with a parole. Then you begin to see, if I followed the teachings of Scripture that I should be associating with saintly person through their teachings and through those individuals who are focused upon doing the will of God, I will not experience this. But that simple paragraph, that short comment or teachings of the Supreme Person, love God and do His will, I did not follow that. I tried to experience, to do my own will. So I am always singing in the jail. I did it my way. And I experienced for 10 years, I'm in jail. Yeah? Then I go out again. And you're empty-hearted. And you want to experience happiness. And where will be my security? Then you do again another crime, Now it's about hacking, or bullying. So you go to jail again. But while you're going to jail, every time your situation in this body is that you have a limited time in this body. So if you have, for example, 100 years to stay in the body, you have wasted through your experience, through following the mind, the lust and anger to find satisfaction. Yeah? Then you have spent, for example, 99 years in jail. 99 years. You have 1 year na lang. And then you begin to think, if I do this, I go to jail. If I do this, I go to jail. If I do this, I go to jail. All the experience, because in the university, they're always telling, experience is the best. How to acquire knowledge. Yeah? And you ask, Professor, have you tasted 1, 2, 3? You know what's that, diba? Or we call, have you jumped 10 stories high, Have you cut your head to see if you're gonna survive? So meaning, if your idea of knowledge is through your experience, then you lose this great opportunity of having this human form of life. Because this human form of life is an opportunity for you to ask this simple question: who am I? Why am I here? What is death? What is life? And where do I go when I enter the door that I'm always afraid to enter? But I cannot see what will happen, We're always afraid, anxiety. But for the devotee who has wisdom, he listens from authorities. Just like when the mother tells this young boy, don't touch the fire, kid, you're gonna get burned, So, my point is this. In our study, we should be guided not by the mind, which is under the control of the three modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Because we will be identifying with this body. If the mind, for example, you have this problem now, they put it in a way, very nice, You use euphemism, transgender problem, They even individuals who like to rape children, they call it pedophilia, Why not tell na lang, this person is a rapist, He wants to, eat everybody else, But they have to put it in a nice way to be accepted with what they're teaching, But it's already urgent, It's not just an emergency situation, it's urgent. Because anytime you're gonna leave this, you're gonna enter the door, you ask this question: what do you have? What is your foundation? Where are you being directed? If you're being directed by all these people who pose as representative or full of knowledge, but under the three modes of material nature or ignorant of their identity, then you're doomed. You're a gunner. And that is the reason the spiritual master comes here, because he's God's personification of compassion and love for us. He does not want to see us suffer. We have become like the turtle, the turtle who's walking in the desert, and that turtle, because there's a turtle walk, not Not the, walk like, whatsoever. The turtle walk, Not the tsunami walk that all this number one, okay, the toko walk, is there now, Just, everybody's so focused upon this world. Miss Universe, how did she win? She has this tsunami walk, while walking, trying to go towards the door of death. She walks like a tsunami. Miss Universe. That's not our goal. So, we must be guided. Or else, we'll be lost. You think you're very intelligent? You cannot even see air. You are not in control. Anytime you're gonna leave. So, that's a discussion we discuss. Every day. That's the reason we, sometimes, Sir, bakit pa bali? How come it's always the same? You're not the body, you're not the mind. You ask yourself, why are you suffering? Because you identify with another energy. And what are your activities? Is it connected with transcendental activities in relationship with God's will? Because the Supreme Person is transcendental to this miserable world. And you, the person, you want joy because happiness and joy and love is inseparable from you. You want to love, you want to serve, you want to experience joy. Nobody of you here will tell me, I want to die. No, I want to suffer. Nobody wants that, That's why there is a struggle to survive. But in this struggle, if it's based upon ignorance, you fail. Because your struggle will be cut off at the time you leave the body. So the person should be with wisdom. So in the path we're following, it's be guided by God Himself. Lord Krishna's desire and will. And that we will describe more when we have this study program tomorrow, so we can see now how sheltered we are. Because now, guided by God Himself, His will, His desire, because He's the supreme controller, everything will be done. He's the supreme driver. Nothing goes wrong. With our case, if we try to imitate God, everything will go wrong. Because everything will be cut off. The venue or avenue, this body, that the field of activity. This field of activity, we try to eat, sleep, mate, see everything, feeling. You're going to leave it behind. And you put investment there, You put investment there, That's why you have pictures. That's why you have pictures, in the house. You look at the picture, Oh, my wife, she died 10 years ago, But just, you cannot see, Oh, and you're there sitting down, drinking, My wife. My children, I work so hard. I built a big house, because I have 15 children, so I built 15 rooms. Now I am all alone. That's why sometimes I give you sitting down, singing, praying. I'm all alone in this world because the child, they have also their own will. You cannot control them. They leave, they marry, Some of them goes to jail, become addict, All your dreams will never come true when it's based upon this temporary world. So don't ever sing that song, to dream the impossible dream. That will be impossible when you're ignorant of your true identity. So we'll continue our study program, Haribol, namaste.
Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Namine, Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prestaya Te.
Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Namine, Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prestaya Te.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Dayanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Chaitanya.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Chaitanya.
Hare Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Hare Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hare
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Hare Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gauranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gauranga.